What if I told you that a woman defined an era in a world dominated by men? Enter Elizabeth I, born in 1533 amid the opulence and intrigue of the Tudor court. She was the daughter of the formidable Henry VIII and his second wife, Anne Boleyn, whose union shook the very foundations of English society. Elizabeth's early life was marked by the dramatic downfall of her mother, who was executed when Elizabeth was merely 3 years old. This event cast a long shadow over her claim to the throne. As her father married and remarried, producing heirs who shuffled Elizabeth further down the line of succession, her future seemed uncertain. Each stepmother brought new challenges and changes in her status, and Elizabeth learned to navigate the treacherous waters of royal favor and politics at a very young age. From a disgraced princess to a celebrated monarch, the journey of Elizabeth I begins with turbulence. Amidst conspiracy and courtly intrigue, a young woman ascends to the throne of England. In November of 1558, the air in England was thick with uncertainty. The death of Mary I, known for her fierce adherence to Catholicism, had left the throne vacant. Into this void stepped Elizabeth, the daughter of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn, a woman whose very birth was mired in scandal and religious upheaval. Elizabeth inherited a realm fraught with conflict. Her sister's reign had deepened the religious divide and the treasury was nearly bankrupt. Yet Elizabeth's early decisions hinted at a reign that would seek balance and stability. She quickly moved to establish a council filled with skilled advisors, signaling her intent to govern through wisdom and consultation, rather than sheer force. Navigating through the treacherous waters of political machinations, Elizabeth's ascension was not just a testament to her right by blood but also to her astute understanding of governance. With the crown firmly placed on her head, Elizabeth faced a divided nation, teetering on the brink of chaos. Imagine steering a country away from religious wars with a single act of legislation. In 1559, Queen Elizabeth I did precisely that with the Elizabethan religious settlement. This pivotal act was not merely a decree, it was a masterstroke of diplomacy and foresight, designed to unify a kingdom divided by religious strife. The settlement reinstated the Protestant Church of England, which had been established during the reign of her father, King Henry VIII, but had oscillated in power under her siblings. Elizabeth's approach was unique. She crafted a moderate path, one that was Protestant in doctrine but retained many traditional Catholic rituals and structures. This was a deliberate and thoughtful compromise aiming to appease both the Protestant reformers and the Catholic traditionalists. The brilliance of the Elizabethan religious settlement lay in its dual nature. It established the supremacy of the monarch over the church, yet allowed for a variety of religious practices under a common institutional framework. By doing so, Elizabeth mitigated the risk of civil unrest and sectarian violence. Her policy of religious compromise quelled internal strife and defined the spiritual life of her nation. In an age where image is power, Elizabeth I transforms herself into Gloriana, a living symbol of her country. The Virgin Queen knew the importance of appearance and carefully orchestrated every detail of her public image to embody the ideals and aspirations of her kingdom. Through striking portraits, Elizabeth was not just a ruler, she was an icon of divine right and celestial purity. Her wardrobe was no less than a regal spectacle. Gowns encrusted with jewels and elaborate ruffs framed her face, projecting an image of unapproachable grandeur and eternal youth. Each public appearance was a masterclass in royal branding, reinforcing her status as both a political and spiritual figurehead. The Queen's astute use of her image extended to the meticulous staging of her portraits. These were not mere representations but powerful tools of propaganda. They depicted her with symbols of virginity and wisdom, such as the ermine and the celestial globe, subtly weaving her persona into the fabric of divine monarchy. Elizabeth's strategic self-image not only enchanted her subjects but also puzzled her rivals. 1588. The year England stood small but stood strong. In the late 16th century, a formidable fleet known as the Spanish Armada set sail from Spain, its sights set on the shores of England. This was no mere naval expedition, it was a colossal armada sent by King Philip II of Spain, driven by a mix of political rivalry and religious fervor, aimed at overthrowing Queen Elizabeth I and restoring Catholicism to English lands. The roots of this conflict stretched back to personal and political grievances. Philip, once a suitor of Elizabeth, had become her adversary. The execution of Mary, Queen of Scots, a Catholic and an ally of Spain, had further inflamed tensions, prompting Philip to act. As the Spanish ships approached, England was under threat like never before. But it was under Elizabeth's resolute leadership that the country prepared to defend itself against overwhelming odds. The Queen visited her troops at Tilbury, where she delivered a speech that has echoed through the ages. Clad in armor, she proclaimed, "I have the body of a weak, feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king, and of a king of England too." Her words galvanized the English forces, and what followed was as much a battle of wits as of cannon fire. The English utilized smaller, more maneuverable ships to great effect. Coupled with unfavorable winds that the English called the Protestant wind, the Armada was outmaneuvered and decimated. Under Elizabeth's command, England not only survived, but emerged as a formidable naval power. The defeat of the Spanish Armada marked a turning point, establishing England as a dominant sea power and immortalizing Elizabeth as one of the most formidable monarchs in history. What do Shakespeare and Marlowe have in common? A queen who loved the arts. In the vibrant tapestry of the Elizabethan era, one of the most luminous threads was Queen Elizabeth I's ardent patronage of the arts. Her reign heralded a golden age for English literature and drama, notably through her support of legendary playwrights like William Shakespeare and Christopher Marlowe. Elizabeth's court was more than just a royal residence. It was a bustling hub for creative minds. The Queen herself, with her keen intellect and profound appreciation for theater, often attended plays, which was a strong endorsement that attracted the nobility and commoners alike to the theaters. This royal patronage not only gave playwrights the courage to push boundaries, but also ensured that their works reached a wider audience. Moreover, her support was not merely passive. Elizabeth understood the power of the arts as a means of both entertainment and political commentary, often using theater as a tool to bolster her image and disseminate political messages. Elizabeth's court became a beacon of cultural renaissance that echoed beyond her reign. After 44 years, the curtain falls on the stage of Elizabeth I. As the twilight years of her reign approached, Queen Elizabeth faced mounting challenges. Her strength and resolve were tested as never before. The once youthful monarch now grappled with the relentless passage of time and the ever-looming question of succession. Despite numerous courtiers and foreign dignitaries pushing candidates forward, Elizabeth remained famously reticent about naming an heir, leading to a court rife with intrigue and speculation. Her final years were marked not only by personal isolation but also by political troubles. The economic burdens grew, and military campaigns such as the costly Irish Wars drained the royal coffers and tested the loyalty of her subjects. Yet, through these trials, Elizabeth's sharp political acumen never waned. In March of 1603, the great queen fell ill and passed quietly into history. Her death brought an end to the Tudor dynasty and ushered in the era of the Stuarts. The death of Elizabeth I marked the end of an era, but the beginning of a legacy that would last centuries. How does a monarch become a legend? Elizabeth I, the last of the Tudor dynasty, managed not just to rule, but to etch her name into the bedrock of history. Her reign, often seen through the lens of the Golden Age, was marked by profound developments that shaped not only England but the world at large. Elizabeth's ascent to the throne heralded a new era of English power and influence. Under her savvy leadership, England emerged as a formidable naval power, with the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588 serving as a defining moment. This victory not only thwarted a major invasion but also cemented England's status as a premier maritime power, setting the stage for an era of exploration and expansion overseas. Beyond the battlefield, Elizabeth's impact on the Protestant Reformation was indelible. Her establishment of Protestantism as the national faith, through measures such as the Act of Uniformity, ensured that England would diverge sharply from the Catholic powers of Europe. This religious stance not only defined English spirituality, but also stoked the fires of national identity and independence. In popular culture, the image of Elizabeth I as the Virgin Queen remains iconic, symbolizing purity and strength. Her portrayal in literature, film, and television continuously shapes public perception, ensuring her legacy endures through the ages. As a female monarch in a male-dominated world, Elizabeth I not only reigned, but truly ruled, leaving a blueprint for leadership and sovereignty. Elizabeth I, a queen who was not born to rule, but destined to be remembered. As we've explored the remarkable saga of her life, from her precarious beginnings to her monumental reign, it becomes clear why she remains a pivotal figure in world history. Her ascension to the throne was a beacon of hope during tumultuous times. She navigated through religious discord with the Elizabethan religious settlement, fostering a period of relative peace and stability in England. Her reign saw the defeat of the Spanish Armada, a testament to her formidable leadership and strategic acumen. Elizabeth was not just a political titan, but also a patron of the arts, igniting the flame of the English Renaissance. Under her watch, culture flourished and the arts thrived, leaving a legacy that would influence generations. As the sun set on her era, the impact of her policies and personality continued to resonate through the ages. Her vision and indomitable spirit have cemented her place as a symbol of resilience and ingenuity. In the tapestry of history, few threads shine as brightly or as enduringly as that of Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen.